Your emergency kit is built for the wrong disaster. It keeps you warm, and warmth is not what kills you this week. The porch thermometer reads 115. At 3:41 in the afternoon, the air conditioner goes quiet, and the only person home is 14 years old. A sealed house under a heat dome gains about 1 degree every 20 minutes. Her parents are 11 miles away, and the freeway they are on has become a parking lot. This is the blackout nobody trains for. Winter kills you in days. This kills you before sunrise, and the next 14 hours will come down to decisions a child has to make. It started 3 states away, in a substation that had been running past its limits for 9 days straight. 200 million people under the same heat dome. Every air conditioner on the continent pulling at the same wire, at the same hour, on the hottest day in a decade. The grid operators had already declared an emergency 2 days earlier. It was in the news below the sports scores. Almost nobody read it. At 3:39, a transformer bank overheated and tripped. The load jumped to the next station. Then that one folded too. Rolling blackouts are designed to roll. This one stopped rolling. Here is the math of heat, and it is short. A healthy adult survives about 3 days without water. In 115 degrees without cooling, the countdown is measured in hours. The body cools itself one way. Sweat evaporates, and the evaporation carries heat away. Push the humidity high enough, and that machine simply stops working. Scientists call that limit the wet bulb threshold. Past it, a fit adult sitting still in the shade cooks from the inside. No fever, no warning, just a pump running out of coolant. A 1-year-old reaches that point 3 times faster. Small body, big surface, a cooling system that is not finished yet. Maya knows none of the numbers. She knows her brother has stopped fussing, and that this is worse. Her phone still works, 1 bar. Her mother's voice keeps breaking up. Cool him down, do not go outside, we are coming. Then the tower drops to nothing. She is on her own, and the house is already at 91 degrees. First mistake almost everyone makes, opening every window. Outside is 115, inside is 91. Opening the house now is inviting the furnace in. Maya's father taught her the desert rule without knowing when it would matter. The house breathes at night. During the day, it holds its breath. So she seals it, blinds down, curtains pinned, towels against the sun's side. The living room drops out of the fight. She is not saving the house. She is saving one room. The smallest room with the fewest windows. In winter, you pick it for warmth. In a heat dome, you pick the lowest one, on the shade side with tile instead of carpet. Heat rises. Every floor you go down buys you 5 degrees. Basements are the cheapest air conditioning ever invented. Maya has no basement. She has a bathroom on the north side, a bathtub, and a water heater with 40 gallons nobody thinks about. Rule 1 of the cool room: water beats air. A wet sheet on the skin does what sweat wants to do without the dehydration. She fills the tub while the pressure lasts. City water pumps run on the same dead grid. What is in the pipes right now is all there is going to be. Every container in the kitchen, pots, bottles, the mop bucket, scrubbed and filled, then the bathtub to the brim, 60 gallons before the taps start to sputter. Hour 2, the refrigerator is now a warm cupboard with a rubber seal. She does not open it. A closed fridge holds its cold for 4 hours, a freezer for 48, but only if the door stays shut. The ice inside is currency now. She bags what fits into the cooler and does not touch the rest. Melted ice is still cold water. Cold water is still medicine. Wrong lesson from the movies: fans fix everything. Past about 95 degrees, a fan pointed at dry skin is a convection oven. It cooks you faster. The fan earns its keep another way, pointed across a wet sheet or out a shaded window at night, pushing hot air away instead of at you. Hour 3, 94 degrees inside. Maya soaks 2 washcloths and lays them where the blood runs close: the baby's neck, his wrists, the backs of his knees. Not ice water, cold shocks a small body into keeping its heat. Cool, wet, patient. The old nurses knew this before air conditioning existed. He drinks small sips every few minutes, even when he turns his face away. A baby can lose 1/10 of his body's water in an afternoon and show almost nothing until the last hour. Her own thirst she rations by the clock, not by feeling. Thirst is a slow reporter. By the time it files the story, you are already a quart behind. Hour 4 outside, the street has gone quiet in the wrong way. No compressors humming, no cars, just cicadas and the tick of cooling metal. Here is what almost nobody understands about a heat blackout. The emergency is invisible. No flood line, no smoke, just closed doors, and behind some of them, people quietly losing. 3 houses down lives Mrs. Acaffer, 78, second floor apartment, top floor, west facing, alone. Maya's mother checks on her every Sunday. The deadliest address in a heat wave is exactly that one, high, west, alone, old. In the Chicago heat wave of 1995, 739 people died, most of them behind locked doors on the top floor with the windows painted shut. Maya watches the house through the blinds. The Sunday rule sits in her stomach. Her mother said, "Do not go outside." Her mother also never missed a Sunday. Rule for moving in killing heat: you do not walk in it, you cross it. Shade to shade, wet cloth on the head. 10 minutes out costs an hour of cooling. She carries water, the red cooler's last ice, and the baby monitor from her brother's room, its little transmitter still running on batteries. The stairwell is an oven flue. Every floor is 5 degrees worse. On the landing, she understands, for 1 second, what the numbers meant. Mrs. Acaffer answers on the 4th knock, upright, polite, and slurring one word in 3. Confusion is not an old lady being old. Confusion is the brain announcing it is overheating. Heat exhaustion still sweats. Heat stroke has stopped. Skin dry, mind foggy, pulse racing. The difference is the difference between a bad evening and a coffin, and it can turn in 20 minutes. Maya does what the manuals say and what instinct screams against. She gets the hottest person in the building wet immediately, clothes and all. Wrists under the faucet while the pipes still give, wet towels on the neck, the window cracked only on the shaded side, and the slow, patient sips. 20 minutes later, the sentences come back in order. Another 20, and she argues about the mess. The argument is the best sound Maya has heard all day. She cannot carry a 78-year-old down an oven stairwell, so she does the next thing. She moves the cool room to the window. Mattress cushions on the tile floor of the lowest, darkest room in the apartment. 1 wet sheet, 1 filled tub, 1 promise into the baby monitor's sister unit: if you say my name, I will hear it. Hour 7, sunset 104. Here is the cruelest fact of a heat dome. Night does not come to the rescue. Concrete spends all day loading heat and all night paying it back. The nights are what kill. The body never gets its recovery window. Day 2 starts with day 1 still in your bones. At 10, the street wakes up, doors open. Families drag mattresses onto porches and lawns. The neighborhood remembers, without being told, how summer worked before 1950. Maya opens the house the way her father taught her. Shade side low, upstairs high, letting the building exhale 14 hours of stored heat into the dark. She carries her brother onto the back porch, screen against the mosquitoes, wet sheet, the water heater jug within reach. His breathing has gone soft and even again. Down the street, a generator snarls to life. Within an hour, it is the loudest thing in 3 blocks, and everyone knows exactly which house has power, fuel, and something worth taking. A quieter lesson in an outage: comfort is a broadcast. The family on the mattress with warm lemonade is invisible. The house with the humming generator is a lighthouse. Past midnight, a pickup rolls the block slow, twice, headlights off. It pauses at the lighthouse. It never once looks at the dark lawns. Nothing happens tonight. That is not a promise. That is day 1. The predators, like everyone else, are still doing the math. Hour 13, 3 in the morning, 93 degrees. Maya refills the sipping cup, checks the monitor, listens. The city sounds like a tide going out, alarms giving up one by one as their batteries drain. Somewhere across town, her parents abandon the car in a cold lane of stopped metal and start walking the last 4 miles by starlight. Nobody directed traffic out of the city. 50,000 drivers each made the same private decision at the same hour, and the roads spent the night digesting it. The morning after teaches the last lesson. Day 2 of a heat blackout is not day 1 repeated. It is day 1 compounded. Less water, less ice, less patience, more heat in the walls. At 6:12, footsteps on the gravel. Her mother's voice cracks on her name. Her father stands in the yard and counts his family twice. Then he looks at the sealed windows, the filled tub, the widow's monitor, the sleeping baby. And the 14-year-old explains her night, hour by hour, like a shift report. The power came back to Maya Street after 51 hours. 4 blocks east, it took 6 days. The difference was one transformer and which side of it you lived on. The heat dome killed more people that week than any hurricane that year. Most of the names never made the news. Top floors, west windows, locked doors. So learn the house rules while the grid still hums. Know your lowest, darkest room. Know where 60 gallons hide in your pipes and tank. Freeze water bottles now. A full freezer fails slower and every bottle is a cold pack later. Keep one battery fan and learn the wet sheet trick before you need it at 3 a.m. Put the old, the alone, and the top floor on your Sunday list. In a heat emergency, a neighbor with a key is worth more than a generator. And when the lights die on the hottest day of the decade, remember the 14-year-old's playbook. Seal the day out, breathe at night, water on skin, sips on schedule, and check the doors nobody checks. Because the grid that failed her street is the same grid outside your window. 13 of its 23 regions are running past their margins this summer. The operators wrote that down. It was below the sports scores. This is a scenario. It has not happened, but the heat dome and the strained grid under it are real. The next heat dome is already in the forecast models. The only question it will ask is the one Maya answered. What do you do in the first 20 minutes after the hum stops?